Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. Wow, what an afternoon, what a mid-morning, what a great day. I was excited. Got to trade with the great Fire, Dark Side, Janny, B trades today. Raphael came in. Uh, Wonderful day. It's a shame Palmer didn't get in here today, but boy, if he would have been a beautiful day today for him. Our highlight of the day is actually wasn't even on our list because the news didn't come out until mid-afternoon, but we had a really, really great list of good stock ideas this morning. ARMP, Momo, NTNX, Plan, Activision, RGNX, Guild, BMRN, Splunk, and TDD. We also had Boeing, Tesla, and AXSM on a swing. But today's really highlight in the room and really showcases our talent is a stock called Soli. Um, and Soli, as you can see, was a nice winner in the room. Congratulations to Ken Hudson. You can see Noel did good, over $1,000 right there, $1,187. And I mean, the great Ollie did very, very well. And remember now, Ollie's trading on a $500 account, and he scored $490 chasing the stock. But because of the guidance in the room, just it's been a really nice trade in the room. I'll kind of tell you just briefly. The news came out this morning. B trades saw the spike right here, and I'll take you right in the morning. This, and we have a time stamp for everything in the room. This was the alert, and it halted. Immediately after it halted, the great Raphael gave us the news. And he told us it was FDA approval on a tattoo remover, which is really good because a lot of us have tattoos. I have tattoos. I like to get removed without the, the you know the massive pain and stuff, and the needles keep going in. So I'll be standing in line for this. I mean, I will pay top dollar to get my tattoos, some of my removed. But it started here. And as I was explaining to all the great traders in the room and all the new traders that have come in, one of the special fortes of our room is, yeah, we trade the big cap, slow cap, small cap. We trade it all, penny stocks, whatever it is, long, short, swing ideas, whatever. But when I get a hold of a stock like a Soli and it's in my hands, I'm all over it. This is where I can showcase my talent, not only to my great mods that I admire, but I can showcase it to the many people in the room that have never traded with me before, or traders that have been with me a while but haven't witnessed me. And I'm known as that that trader that can literally walk up a trade from 3 to 10, from 10 to 20, 3 to 15, and I went long at 14 and was and so I'm that guy over the years that developed such a talent and a skill level that many actually, a lot of rooms are in our room to watch how we trade a trade like this. And once it was in my hands and B Trades just kind of turned it over to me with Raphael, I ran. I mean, it's been on my screen since. As a matter of fact, I came back from break and I noticed this was short trapping. A short trap is meaning that it's in a very tighter range and lots of volume gets in, and they're trapping shorts. And there's a lot of short sellers trying to get in here and want to take it down because they know in the end on day 2 or 3 this is going to come down. But there's a lot of people that do that have large accounts. But there's also a lot of people that don't have large accounts that follow those people with large accounts, and they'll get in there trying to short trap. They'll get in there part of trying to short it. And what I see is when I recognize a short trap, I came in the room, I looked at it, I said, traders, this is trapping right here, right there. I said it was trapping at the 12, 1220, 1250 spot. I even called out one of my traders in the room. His name is Solo, and I said, "This is going to rip to 15 now. So anyone trying to short this, don't do that. All right." And if there might be a few guys on Twitter, like David, Ali, or Solo, that might even tell you what I was saying, just to emphasize. Because one of the things I try to do really well is educate the trader. Because let me tell you something, a lot of traders can get wiped out. This is where you see guys taking such huge losses because they're looking they're not looking at the chart. They're just trying to they're coming up with different ways and thoughts of why it should come down. But when you're a professional day trader in my league, when you're in this world, okay, those guys, they're children to me. Okay, when you're in my world, okay, I see things a lot more clear and a lot more different. And so I can portray that to everyone in the room and say, don't do that, don't do this. I don't even want traders trading this, even if I tell them it's going to 15. Why? Because we've already had such a huge run. Why do we want to jeopardize a quick pop that only a handful of people are going to get their money, right, on 66,000 shares? And if everyone at the same time, and look at the poll, everyone sells at once, and then you actually lost money. I don't want that. If you look, if I said the stock was going to go to 15 and people were waiting and it pulled and then it got and then everyone wanted to sell right under the 15, now you got a 1380, and if you had 2,000 shares, you just lost $2,000 or 1,600 bucks, and you don't want to be in that kind of world. So I'd rather just, hey, I made my money, and you could laugh at me. I only made 400 and hold on. I'll tell you exactly what I made. I'm not afraid. $418. Do I care? Laugh all you want. I still made 418. This didn't take my money. This was just adding to my money. Did some guys make a lot more? I hope so, you know? But when you're looking at a stock like this, okay, so it started on the news and the unhalt. As soon as it unhalted, as I was explaining in the chat room, I said live, okay, it should pop to around 850 and then pull on the unhalt. Once it pulls 850, I'm going to watch the volume. If I get what I'm looking for, I can run the stock. Okay, what am I looking for? Volume. If I get an unhalt pop pull with volume on a curl, hence volume, 100, 200,000 shares, I'm going to run the stock because I can sense there's people that bigger traders in here that want to push this stock, and then I immediately pull up a longer chart so I can chart it out in the room. And a lot of times I'll just tell them vocally. Today I put it in writing. And what was I looking for? I was filling gaps. Okay. When you're a professional day trader that does this for a living, you can spot areas where the stock needs to fill some. This had great news, and it was already a big short weeks before. So this was a great opportunity for Soli to come back and fill a lot of these gaps and take it back up. Now, I did not immediately call the stock to 15. The fact it's there, great. But that's not what I was calling for. To protect the traders in the room, my first initial reaction was on the move. I'm like, the first call I did was right here. I said, okay, we're going to fill this gap here. All right, 943. Then we're going to fill another gap here at 1089. When we fill those gaps, I'll revisit it. All right. So those are what I'm looking for to pop first. Then if we break that, which it did, then I started pulling up the chart even more. I said, okay, now we're going to fill this gap of 1086 right here, 1089 right there. See that? Then the next gap fill was going to be 1220. And then the next gap fill was 1350. And I figured at 1350 it would get exhausted. If you want to look at the 1350, first of all, look where I hit each area. As I said, 1089, all right, 12, right, and then 1350. And see how 1350 came and yanked all the way to 1170, almost 2 points off the top, right? But when it started to short trap, that's when I knew it would complete the full circle and come back to 15, and hence 14.99. So if you're in the right room and you're trading, all right, and you want to short a stock, this is where you reach out and ask the pro, what do you see? And my job is to prevent that. When I'm telling you to go long the stock, I let you know the risk and reward. What's the risk? Well, if you're going to buy the stock right here, you have to risk. Let's say you want to break out this flag here because you know it's going to move. And AJ said 1350, and you're buying at 1170, what some people did. The risk reward is, to me, almost a 0.50 to the downside with an upside of a point. So whatever you're putting in, you have to risk to the whole amount. So if you're going to buy 200 shares, you're willing to risk 350 to the downside, or you're going to make 350 to the upside. Why? Because you still have a gap to fill on a leg. So if you have a flag breakout getting ready to go, you still have a leg to fill here. So the stock could pull all the way to this area of 1040 or under. So your stops would be at 1040. You have to give it room if you're long at 1180. If you do not do that, you're not willing to do that, and it just pulls 30 cents, you're going to lose. You're going to lose every time. You have to know what your negative, what you could potentially lose. That way it'll prevent. So let's say you wanted to go in with 2,000 shares. Are you willing to risk $3,500? No, you're not. So take down your size. Where would have been the long? Obviously off the unhold, off the buyers right there, and right here off this flag breakout. Right here, you see the massive buying that came in? And it broke that flag. There's where you size 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000 shares. And then you'll get that solid push up to 1140 and make 6, 8, 10, 12,000 on a trade. You want to look for this, and you want to look for really nice chunks. You see this 200, this 123. These were massive buyers, and just a bunch of them. There was no way it was going to pull on that. So once it, and you could see the flag breakout right there. You see it? Once it broke through that flag, look at the buyers. Bam! That's your money. That was a money call right there. But anyway, so it turned out that Soli ended up at 15 in the room. And at this point, where it could go, it's anyone's bet. All right. How are you going to chart it out when it's an all-time high? You know, you don't know if it could be the next dries and run to 100 on a tattoo removal. You don't know. That's why you need to be cautious with your money. And if you're going to play at these points, you have to trade with 50 to 100 shares. You have to be willing to risk what you're putting in. So because they could do an offering at the close and bring it down to 9. Um, I mean, so there's a lot going on right now. But for us as traders, we traded it well. We did very good on it. There's really nothing more for us to really talk about other than congratulations. Okay. So that was how we traded Soli. And this was done every step of the way live in the chat room. And it's really important. And it's interesting too, because I went on break between here and here. About right here, I went on break. And you see how it just kind of just came up, came down, just kind of tighter range. And as soon as I got done with break, I came in the room and I started looking at it, put on screen. You see how it popped? So this is me walking in the room. See the timeline? That's when the great dark side gave me the room back. I immediately put it on screen. I'm like, hey, I'm liking this. And then bam. The power of Awesomecalls Trading. Just like that. So that was pretty fun. Okay. So that was Soli. All right. I'll run through a few charts that we did today and let you take a look at them. All right. NTNX was a great trade today. I was today about 90% accurate. 90, yeah, I think 90% today. This was simple. This caught a downgrade from Morgan Stanley, which is a tier 1 analyst. And I simply wanted to pop the stock. What made this a great play this morning was the, I called the almost exact, I'll show it to you right here, NTNX. I said the stock would pop it open at 13,475 and then all day fader to lows. Okay, that's it. That was the trade. All you had to do was wait for the pop it open. I said 34.75. Stock bell rang, hit 34.65 all day fader. Bam, next trade. That's pretty easy. Momo, I had this going to $29 at the open, then an all day fader gap fill. So here we go. Momo, item number 2 on our list. Pop at 29 and fade it to 26.50 all day fader. So 29, and right now we are currently at $27.30. Almost down. The next trade that we did was a stock called Guild. All right, Soli, Momo, and TNX. And the next one we did was Guild live in the room. Now Guild had a downgrade from Goldman Sachs. As you can see, it was gapping down. I looked at the Goldman Sachs analyst report. I did read it. I made the decision the stock would probably push at the open towards 66 and then head towards 64 for the day. You don't believe? Take a look. And here is Guild. I want it to pop it open to 66 and fade to 64. 64 and under. And that is the trade, 66 and 64. So if you want to look, 66, it missed it by 20 cents and almost 64, 64.09. Next great trade we did today was Splunk. Splunk was amazing, and the reason why it was amazing was the fact that now Splunk got just oversold on Friday, and just massive dumping and sell-off, and we had nailed it really nice. And the great fire came in around 116 and went long on the stock, which was really cool. Got some of our money back when because it kept selling off. Today, whenever I get a massive sell-off, because of the way I've learned things now, I actually go back now and trade that stock again. And I normally don't. I let it just die out. But today it told me that with the market gapping up 100, I felt the stock would most likely make a nice move to the upside. And I had, you got to sit down for this, but I told everyone in the room that Splunk was going to hit $125 a share. If you long the 119, and even if it dipped to add, don't worry, it's going to 125 today. That was the number I saw. That's the number I traded. That's the number I wanted. And I do want you to see where it went. I think you'll be very impressed with this call. It hit 124.98. So that was our Splunk call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two more to go. The next stock I had was actually almost pretty much pre-market play for my pre-market traders. BMRN had phase half news. The problem is that it was really all over the place this morning. And so when I got in and you could see the timeline, I was writing my pre-market notes at around 6:15 on this particular stock, 6:14, 6:15. And I just said, you know what? I would long the stock right here at 85.50 and look for a push to $90 at the open. And then it'd probably fade from there. And that was the call. It was it's a thin stock, so not many could have played it. But if you look at my call, I would long here at 85.50. Look at the timeline. It was exactly when I said. Give it room to pull if it did, and the stock will go to $90. And that was the call. And it was a nice pre-market play if you were able to trade it. And I'll show you the trade. Here it is. Here is the 85.50 long, as promised, and the stock ramped all the way up almost to $90 a share. Missed it by about 10 cents. Okay. And those are those two. I will give you one more trade. Guild, TDD, Tesla, Boeing. Boeing was really good. I like Activision too, but I'm going to go with Boeing. I'll give you Boeing today. Boeing, with the market gapping up, I wanted a sell-off at the open. I wanted 355, 354 and under, and I said the stock would touch 359 today. That was the goal. So, and this was the Boeing call. If it pulled that open at 354, 355, long it, and the stock will go to 359 to 360 today. And I'm really accurate on Boeing. I know how to trade it. I've got such a comfort and relaxed feeling with it. I don't need a lot of too much technical analysis on it. I can just tell you where it's going to go, and it will go there. And there it is, 359, like clockwork. That was Boeing. And that is today's webinar. I mean, it was pretty fast, wasn't it? Before I close out, I do want to address something openly to a lot of you that are watching this webinar for the first time, and never traded in Awesome Calls Trading. And I want to go back to the Soli call, this trade. Um, you know, what's a shame is there are a lot of rooms that will refuse. I'm talking refuse. You will never see trades like Soli. And what the reason is you'll never trade it. I mean, they'll just trade SPY, or VIX, or Apple, or AMD, or Twitter. I mean, they're so limited what they trade. And yet I see people like compliment other people. Oh, that was a great SPY call. Made 80% on that call. You know, I just think to myself, could you imagine taking that trader who's probably trading a year or two that only knows that and introducing him to Awesome Calls Trading and showing him a Soli trade? And I just think about how many of you are listening to this webinar that are not fortunate to be in a room like this, because you will never trade anything like this. You will never get to feel what it's like to really truly make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You'll never have somebody give you the guidance. And the reason is because the room you're in is limited. You can only trade what that person knows. If that person doesn't know how to trade Soli, he can't teach you to trade it. So therefore, he won't trade it. And a lot of these rooms are like that. I want you to sit back and look at what you traded today that you weren't in Awesome Calls and say to yourself, why couldn't I have traded BMRN in pre-market? How come you didn't call Boeing at 359? How come we only trading this stock here? When you have these small cap stocks that only give you 3 or 4 on their list, why did they do that? Yes, maybe that's their forte and they're really good at it, and that's good. But that's not going to develop you as the trader like a guy in here or a lady in here. To me, you need to trade and learn the whole market, not pieces of it. And that's what awesomecallstrading.com is about. And yeah, granted, we may not attract someone like you because you're so used to being, told that this is all you need to know. And in this room, I don't do that. I can't do that. Your brain needs to be a sponge, and my job is to educate you on every type of stock, every type of trade, long, short, swing trade. It doesn't matter. The fact that you didn't get to play Soli in your room, you have to look and really evaluate why you're allowing someone to run your life in day trading, because you really are. Because you're leaving, you're missing opportunity, and I'm talking opportunity to pay bills, to make money, to be a different trader, to feel good. You're losing opportunity, and opportunity equates to money. All right. When you could take an Ollie Biggs and take a $500 account and make over 4,000 in 2 months trading any stock that he's been able to pick from, including Soli, I can only imagine putting him in a room where he came from, where the guy only wants to trade SPY and Twitter and AMD and Apple. He's going to make less money, get more frustrated, and feel like he's missing out on something. But in here, you never feel like you're missing out. I can't nail them all. I can't. It's hard to be 100%, but I'll give you 200% of me every day that you're in here. So you have the ability to trade something like this. And for your small cap rooms that have been trying to short this thing, you're obviously in the wrong room because you're not understanding the trade and how it's developing. You're not watching the buyers. You're not watching the tick by tick moment what it's doing, and you need to, especially if you're trying to short against somebody like me. You don't want to short against a guy like me, because when I look at something and I tell you this has got momentum, I tell you there's a buyer in here and he's going to run it 50 cents to a buck, why are you going to short against that? Save your money. The time will come. Okay? So anyway, that's all my words of wisdom. And welcome to awesomecallstrading.com. All right? It's you want to be a part of the room? Just click here on the top of any of our links. Click it and you're in the room. That's it. Scroll down, 25 a day. For $6 today, you could have made thousands being in this room. It's that simple. You really could have. Okay? Take care.